What's up, guys? Welcome back to Between the Pylons. I'm John Camacho. Thank you so much for watching. And today we are doing a draft review on the Tennessee Titans, a team who has drafted really well for the past couple years now. So anything I say about this draft that's negative, take it with a grain of salt because, man, John Robinson knows what he's doing. And I've questioned him in the past here and there for certain picks that I didn't like, but overall, he has built his team the right way. He has built a team that's a real competitor in the AFC, and people, you know, are I feel like still sleeping on the Titans even though they just went to the AFC Championship. This is a team that is being built the right way through the draft, and I have a lot of respect for that front office. So let's get started. Did they come into the draft class with a plan? To me, I wouldn't say that they had a clear and decisive plan. I think they had a combination of attacking needs and going best player available. They didn't make a ton of moves in the draft to make it clear what their plan was, but I think that's what the Titans do. I think John Robinson's really good at evaluating players. So he sits there, he takes the player he believes in, and he rolls on, and a lot of times he hits, especially in those mid rounds. He's hit a lot in the mid-range rounds. So I have nothing but respect for what that front office does, as I've already said. The next question is, did they draft an offensive lineman within the first 4 rounds? There is no such thing as a bad team with a good offensive lineman, and the Titans did that. Yes, they drafted an offensive lineman with their very first pick, a team that I wouldn't have told you needed offensive line help. So again, they're adding depth to a position group that is essential for them, especially them who run that power run type of offense. So of course that is a very valuable position for them. And the last question, it's a little bit of surprise to know, but did they attack the strength of the draft? They did not. They did not get a wide receiver in this draft, which is a little bit surprising because if you made me list the 3 needs that they came into this draft with, I probably would have said cornerback and wide receiver as the top 2. So the fact that they didn't get a wide receiver at all, very surprising to me, but again, it's okay. The 1-2 punch that they have at receiver right now is good enough, and with the way they play on offense, I think that's perfectly fine for what they have right now. So let's move on. Let's get to the actual picks. I'm going to talk about the picks that they had in the first 3 rounds because I think that's where you get the guys that are going to be impact players right away. So we're going to start with the very first pick, and I already talked about it a little bit. They went offensive lineman out of Georgia, Isaiah Wilson, and man, this dude's a baller. And there's clear and obvious upside to this pick. I mean, he comes out of Georgia, who has just been producing offensive line talent at an alarming rate. I think he's going to be the swing tackle right away, and then possibly compete with Dennis Kelly for that right tackle role in his first year. But by I think year 2 or 3, he is going to be the starting tackle on the right side there for the Titans. And I mean, again, this is just a pick where you're preparing for the future. You're staying 1 year ahead of your needs. I think it's really smart by the Titans and a really good pick for them at number 29. With their second round pick, number 61 overall, they do go KRISTIAN Fulton, cornerback out of LSU. And guys, I'm going to be honest, this is my number 3 corner on the board. Now, to be totally fair, I knew I was a little bit higher on him than the rest of the NFL. I really liked what I saw out of KRISTIAN Fulton. I know there were some complaints that he was very hot and cold, or kind of had very high highs and very low lows as far as the type of cornerback he was. But to be fair, man, he played in the SEC. He played some tough talent, and if your biggest knock on him is that he lost a couple reps to the Alabama wide receiver corps, man, I'm just not too worried about that, especially as a corner who I think is going to come in right away and be a nickel corner the first year, or at least be a spot starter at best. I think Adoree Jackson and Malcolm Butler are going to stick in as the cornerback 1 or 2. So again, this is an opportunity for the Titans to get a need, but not a pressing need. The Titans weren't just absolutely being killed at corner, but they could absolutely use some depth of the position, to say the least. And with their third round pick, number 93 overall, they do take Darrynton Evans, running back out of Appalachian State. And this dude is a jitterbug. I think he's going to fit in so well with Derrick Henry. I think he's going to be a guy who complements Derrick Henry really well. I think it's going to be a really good thunder and lightning duo that's it's going to take a little bit of the pressure off of Derrick Henry to be the entire workhorse back all the time. So that's awesome. And as far as draft day trades for the Titans, they didn't make a bunch, but the trade they did make was pretty cool. They essentially traded a 7th round pick this year for a 6th round pick next year. Again, I mean, these are later round picks, but as far as adding assets to your team, you can't complain with that. And the fact that the Titans didn't move around as much as maybe they normally would in the draft, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that this was a virtual draft, and there are certain things that kind of get lost with that, and one of them is the fact that you can't talk to the 3-4 other guys in the room that are helping you make decisions like that. You have to conference call with them and Zoom and all these other things. I feel like that makes it more difficult to get trades going, because 2 different teams have to do that at the same time to get a trade worked out, and then they have to call the NFL offices or however that works to tell the NFL that there is a trade, and all of that takes time that gets lost when everyone's working from home. That's just a tough thing to ask, and it makes sense why so many teams didn't move around in this draft as much as normal, really. As far as my favorite move in this class, I have to say drafting Kristian Fulton at 61 overall, I think was a huge steal and a great move for the Titans, who I do believe are gonna need Kristian Fulton to be a starter at some point in the near future. I don't really believe in Dory Jackson that much. I think he was a little bit of a bust of a 1st round pick in 2017. He's played fine. He just has never developed into the consistent starter that you want to see from your 1st round pick. So that's just kind of where we're at the cornerback position for the Titans. My least favorite pick, and this is a reach. I don't have a lot of issues with this draft. I thought they did a really good job with what they had, and really the only thing I could say is maybe they could have traded back in the 1st and acquired more picks. Again, that's just a really deep reach on a thing where I looked at him like maybe Isaiah Wilson would have been available 7-8 picks later, and maybe there was a team that would have wanted to trade up for a running back or for something else. I don't know. I don't know if that was even a possible option, and even if it was, why would you risk it if you really like Isaiah Wilson? Again, there wasn't really a move that I hated, so I kind of made one up. And then the biggest surprise for me was the fact that they didn't go receiver. I'm kind of shocked by that. I love A.J. Brown. DJ Humphries, I feel like was kind of underwhelming last year. So I feel like the Titans could definitely use that 3rd receiver, and at least taking a shot there with somebody would have been a decision I probably would have made at some point in this draft, especially with how deep it was. But again, that's kind of nitpicky. It's not the biggest deal in the world. I still think they have a really good team on their hands. Overall, I'm going to give this draft an A-. I think they did a lot of things really well. I like their draft. It wasn't super flashy. I don't think it's going to get a ton of attention, but they made the right decision, I feel like, at every point. They added talent to their team, and I think they made themselves a lot better, and not just for 2020, but they had the foresight to make decisions that are going to help them for 21 and 22 when new needs are going to start developing. But all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, check me out. I'm going to have a lot more stuff coming out on the channel. If you have not seen your team's draft review on the channel yet, it is coming. I'm doing every single team. It is a lot. When I signed up for this, when I started working on this, I did not realize how much work was actually going to go into making 32 videos in the span of 2 to 3 days. It has been a lot of fun, but a lot of work. So it is coming. I'm gonna try and have all of them out by Wednesday or Thursday of this week. So be on the lookout for that. And then moving forward, we're gonna have a lot more content revolving around fantasy football, gambling a little bit, not too much right now, of course, because there's not a lot to talk about right now. But moving forward, we have a lot more stuff coming on this channel. So stay tuned, guys, and follow the journey. Peace out, guys. Bye.